I'm going to teach you a little bit about exposures, specifically social exposures. The flea market down here ordered a burger and fries, and they don't take cards, so I forget that every time. And this is a bag of change that I have in the car, generally like when I go through McDonald's to get a drink or something, but I'm gonna have to pay for my meal with this bag of change. So I'm gonna count out, let's just say $10, and when I'm counting this out, we'll talk about social exposures here. Let's see, there's $1. Social exposures. So when I'm doing exposures with someone, so that means like going in a place or going into the community, and we're exposing people to their fears and then preventing them from doing their natural response, right? So in a social exposure, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to go in and expose my fear of judgment, the potential judgment and being the center of attention, by paying with these coins here. What I do when we're working through these exposures, so it's not just going in and doing something, it's when you're doing the exposure is the behavioral part. The exposure, so the cognitive behavioral therapy, so thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So the exposures, you're going into some place, but when you go in, you also have to assess, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking in this situation? Am I thinking that this person is going to say, well, you can't pay for your food in all coins? Am I thinking they're going to look at me weird? Are they going to be mean to me? Are they going to think this is a joke? Am I going to start... So we look at our thoughts. So just what are we thinking, right? And generally those thoughts are anxious thoughts, as I was saying. Feelings are what comes up in my body. Let's see, we've got $2 here, $2 in quarters. As I start walking into this place and I'm going to pay in all coins, what are the physical feelings that are coming up? Do I feel my heart starting to race? Do I start feeling sweaty? Am I feeling a little faint? Is there numbness in my hands and my extremities? Generally for me, I feel like shortness of breath. That's one of the big things that I feel when I'm starting to get anxious. And so a lot of times what people will do is they won't actually do, they won't, like in social situations, like if I didn't have money, maybe they would drive out of their way to get the money and then be late to pick up the food or whatever it would be. They would avoid the social situation. And so part of what we're doing here is we're going to go right into it. That's the goal, is go right into it and use these cognitive behavioral skills to work through these thoughts that I'm having, work through these thoughts and work through these feelings that I'm having. I got this. You know what? I can handle whatever happens. That's one of my go-tos when I'm working, when I'm doing my own exposures, is I can handle it. I can handle whatever happens. So if they say, I'm sorry, you can't pay with all coins, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I can't pay with all coins. I guess I'll either, I'll have to cancel my order, or I'll have to go to find an ATM somewhere. If they start laughing at me and going, are you kidding me? I can handle that. I can handle them laughing at me. I can handle whatever happens as I go in here and I pay for my food with all these coins. I can handle it. Also, the physical feelings that come up, I can handle those, right? I just start to believe when I'm going into an anxious situation that I'm going to start feeling like that. So I associate those physical feelings with anxiety. And what I know is, I've talked about habituation before on the vlog. What I know is when I do things over and over again, I habituate that anxiety. So meaning I get used to it. So the more I do something, the easier it gets. And the more I put myself in situations, that anxiety goes up, right? That anxiety goes up in intensity. And as I get to a certain point, that anxiety hits a peak. And if I stay in that situation long enough, what happens is I get to that peak and then I write it down, right? I write it down. And so what we have to do is, even though we're feeling anxious, we still have to go into these situations and work through not only those thoughts, but push through those physical feelings. So we're doing a little social exposure here of exposing ourselves to the judgment of going in. And let's see, we got $4 in quarters here. At least I'm paying in quarters. I mean, I'm getting down in this bag here where at some point I'm
gossip with Ace.